The reproduction of this content is not allowed without the express written consent of EBH Fitness LLC.
I'm Dr. C. Victor Urban III, and I'm taking it to the house.
And if you don't know me by now, I'm going to tell you, I'm Dr. Timothy Hoover, and I'm taking it to the house. We want to welcome you back to another episode, another show. We're just going to chop it up and want you to chop it up with us. We want you also to hit us up on many of our platforms. Please, Facebook, tweet to us. Let us know what's going on in your world. Vic, how you doing, sir? What's going on with you?
We're back. And, you know, I hate that it seems like I am continue playing around in this toxic relationship between my Lakers and me, and they keep playing the heartstrings. You try to keep me away from the ledge. I still jumped anyways, despite the warnings from last week. I've been talking about this for 2 Decembers now. They made the 500, and I thought it was safe to get into the water, and that's when Jaws bit me in the butt. And so that's how I'm doing. I can tell you one thing, Steve. Last night here in D.C., yours truly went to watch the Washington Wizards play the Boston Celtics. You know why? Because I hate the Boston Celtics, and the Washington Wizards did exactly what I needed them to do. They won. They won in a blowout. So, if there's any good consolation for this week is the fact that the Celtics lost.
Well, Steve, you can't say anything. You're behind the mic and it sucks. I know you would like to respond to that, but you can't. So while we're in the NBA, let's talk about it, man. The season is wrapping up. The MVP race is close between the Joker and Embiid. And I want to start right there. Last night would have been, was it last night? A pivotal game, Denver against Embiid. Oh, Embiid decides to sit out. And to me, he lost the MVP last night because he refused to go head to head. But I wanted to hear what you think about these as the NBA is wrapping up. Some of your MVPs, who's the front runners, your teams, who's coming out of the West, who's coming out of the East. Let's stay right there. And then I want to double back to a conversation we had last week about your quarterback for your hometown team, Lamar. Trade? Huh? What? Where'd that come from? But let's go to the NBA, sir. So I toss it to you.
This is great dialogue to start this off with. So you mean to tell me that Embiid can lose the MVP because he didn't play in one game? I would think that him being MVP is tested amongst the 80 plus games he plays in a season. How are they going to judge me? Then they might as well ask LeBron is he MVP or not because of one game he failed to play against Giannis. I mean, it's an East versus West game. They only played twice. The time they did play, Embiid ran through his butt like toilet tissue. So Embiid has demonstrated what he can do. He's demonstrated. Jokic is that dude. Back to back, I still think there's more, quality players across the league that can go against him and still compete for MVP. But if Embiid lost it last night because one game out of the 60 or 70 he played, there's something wrong with the criteria. I believe it's his MVP award to lose. I even consider Giannis. I think Giannis is balling out. Why is Giannis, as a defending champ, still considered like he's looked over? The days of LeBron being that guy, the days of KD being that guy, right now it is Giannis's league. I don't understand why he's not getting credit. Years ago, I called Giannis out saying he's not that guy. Look, I will eat those words. Show me who you are, and I will believe you. Hey, he was a Rudy Poot 3 years ago. He would choke in the league. He would choke come playoffs. He wasn't that guy. He has since become that guy. So why is he not even being considered MVP caliber? That right there upsets me. So back on Embiid, it'd be unfair if he missed that one game against Joker, who he dominated against the first time, and they say he lost. So I think it's Embiid's to lose still.
Okay, you make some good points. So the reason why he would lose because of last night, it's not because of last night solely. He is neck to neck with Jokic, and triple doubles as a center from Jokic is the difference maker. Plus, he's won it the last 2 years in a row. He's even playing better than he has when he won the other MVP. So Giannis is also in the mix, and Embiid is in the mix. Here's why I say you got to go out frequently, and especially against games when he's playing, to continue to demonstrate that you are the better person. You are the better player. You're that dominant. Do it again. Show it again. Okay, now he didn't get a chance to do that. It's so close that I don't believe you have time to sit out. I still think it's that close that he can lose because of last night and any other games that he does sit out, not just by last night alone. And in my opinion, you got to build momentum. It's 70 games, it's 80 games, it's 82 games. Yes, it's a body of work. Last night is also included in that body of work, and voters to include Perkins said he will remember this. He did not go head to head. Perkins, who has a vote, and I believe other voters will be just like that. Call it petty, call it whatever you want. But you and I know back in the day, they went head to head. They didn't sit. They went to find out against their opponent, especially the guy that they were supposed to, Magic, Bird, David Robinson, and I forget who he was going against. Man, they were going 50. They both scored 50, and another scored 51 points that same night. They were just going at it. They knew. So head-to-head competition does matter. It does factor. If he did it before, he should be able to do it again. Okay, so rest has to be taken a part of the equation, and it was on a back-to-back. I get all that. So you're right. I do agree with you. One game should not make a difference. Giannis is in the talk, and he can win because we still have 7, 8, 9 more games left. He still can win it. But usually in what you hear with all the talk radios, it's Jokic and it's Embiid. I believe Embiid need to lace him up every night, even though he's hurt, and you need to go out there and demonstrate you are the best player. So that's my take on the MVP.
What makes the best player? Did the Sixers win the game
against Denver when Embiid sat out? No.
Yeah. That's why he's the MVP.
Did they? I don't.
That's why he's the MVP.
Okay.
I mean, what are we really judging? The 1-to-1. Look, I don't play. My team loses. If I was winning, I bet you. If I was on, I am the most valuable player on the team. I am the most valuable player that is in the league. What constitutes the most valuable? Had to be the triple doubles. Like what's that criteria? Because to me, if it's I played you one time, I won. Guess what? I didn't show up. Sorry, I didn't get to show y'all the two kings of battle. But my team lost. I didn't show up. They lost. I must have been that valuable that they couldn't have done it without me. I mean, is that an argument? That's not an argument. No, sir. Because Harden sat out also. So there's other variables why your team wins, why your team loses. Then how Jokic going to get Brock? They didn't even play against a full roster for the Sixers.
So you asked one thing that is a question mark. What is the criteria? Nobody can list the criteria. Nobody can sit out and tell me objectively what is and who is the MVP based on that. Is it the best player on the best team? Is it purely stats? Is it because one-on-one against others that are playing your position, you're the better person? I don't know, and I don't have a vote. But the eye test, I believe it comes down to the eye test. And some of these basketball players and writers, I will concede that they are a little bit smarter than myself. And so watching and investing as much time as they may in looking at all the players, making the best choice. But we do know favoritism is a factor. I want Embiid to win. Honestly, I want him to win. But he has been known to really give a lackadaisical effort, not give me 100% every play, every game, take plays off. And so that hurts him. He's been out of shape. Jokic has been out of shape, but Jokic is more consistent on a not very respected team. We're talking about Denver. And he has no other all-star on his team. So you can talk about criteria all you want, but the numbers, my goodness, triple doubles for a center, that's very hard to accomplish. Embiid scoring 35 points per game, significant. He could be very dominant when he does lace him up, when he's ready to play. But co-MVP, can that happen? Let it happen this year. I can see that too. But I want Embiid to stand apart. And last night's game, or the game that he set out, was an opportunity, in my opinion, for him to put everything, all the arguments to rest. And he blew that opportunity, or he chose not to.
Stick it on that thing. If we looked at that, just make it personal, who would be the MVP for the Lakers? I would not say LeBron's not the MVP. This season, who's the MVP for the Lakers?
That's a very good question. I would say the MVP is Rob Pelinka, okay? But I know we can't choose the GM. He could be like the executive of the year, but he pulled the trigger late. So if I have to choose a player, it would have to be AD for the body of work over the season. But the last couple of weeks, Austin Reeves has been that guy. As a second-year player, he has been that guy. But again, I need consistency from him and everybody else. Matter of fact, you don't have to be an all-star. Just be an all-star in your role. And he's done that. Schroeder, you cannot mention the success that we've had recently and not mention Schroeder. So LeBron has been sitting out. AD's been playing hard, but he has not always given the statistics or the numbers that we necessarily need. The hustle you talking about, playing without quit, that dog, that's Austin Reeves. So my first choice would be Austin with the 1A and Schroeder as 1B.
I concur. I think what takes AD away is the fact that he disappears when their stars are in there.
Yes.
AD is putting up 30 plus and double doubles, and then the second D'Lo's back, AD disappears. Soon as LeBron's back, AD disappears. He's not that same dominant. But Austin Reeves is showing up every time. You need to come off the bench, got it. Need me to be a starting role, got it. And he's putting in numbers. And so I concur. With this very fragile year, very unpredictable year for the Lakers. Yes, we finally made that 500 piece and playing around with that. But Austin is showing up. And to watch his minutes increase, watch his confidence increase, watch him deliver. So I definitely would say he's been the most valuable player. I would like to really see the stats to see how many of those games he has won. He's not going to be the flashy guy, the front page of the newspaper, but we look at that box score and seeing what he's done when he has the ball, when he doesn't have the ball. I mean, this kid is dangerous. And early in the year, we just like, who's AR-15? He'd be knocking down daggers when they needed someone from outside. But the kid can go in the paint. The kid had a fadeaway shot. He has some moves. I've seen him do a couple crossovers. He has no problem jamming. So I've seen the articles and I've seen the buzz about what happens in the offseason if he decides to get traded. He said, look, like anybody else in this league, I'm trying to get paid. So I am very nervous if we don't pick him up. So I would say he is definitely MVP.
We were spoiled, and Kobe spoiled us. The Magic Johnsons have spoiled us. The Shaquille O'Neals who take no prisoners. That kind of, I'm going to hurt you mentally. I'm going to hurt you physically. Can you play 4 quarters like this? We were spoiled, and AD will not ever be that guy that seemed to be possessed by the game. So we got to get to the point where he could be dominating for periods of time, but not long periods of time, and he will fade on us. AD, I don't know if it's his offense drives his defense or what, but he just tends to fade on us. Golly, he's so talented. He reminds me of a more talented Pau Gasol, and Pau was gifted. Pau could pass out of the post, and he was more of a facilitator, but he could score. He can post you up as well. Pau was really gifted, not as quick as AD, and AD has it all, but here, that drive, he's missing that drive. I love his talent. He just doesn't display it like we may want it, with that fierceness, that pit bull kind of attitude, because we've been spoiled. We should not expect that of him. And we know, we're always concerned the next fall could be the last fall because he's fragile. But he's been holding it together. Got to give him props. He's been putting up pretty decent numbers in the absence of LeBron. When most people thought we were going to fade, it's AD because of his he's playing the 5 as a 4, and these other 5s are smaller than him. He can dominate them really in the paint. Now he's playing against the Bulls. He's playing against Vukovic. Sorry if I'm cutting your name up. And he's playing against other bigs. He's now small, and that's maybe a little bit more challenging for him. But I love, and I started out by saying my MVP would be Rob Pelinka, the general manager of the Lakers, because of what he was able to do in a short amount of time at the All-Star break with the trades. He made the roster better. He gave more tools to the coach Ham, and he's doing it all on the fly. So great question. Now LeBron is back. They still have to assimilate themselves somewhat. And I'm excited. You may not be, because you have a certain number that you're looking for. You're looking for them to get over 500. It may not happen, and they still may get to 500 and be the 6th seed. That's the possibility. That's what's so fun about this. But they're going to need some help to traverse up to the sixth seed.
That would make it successful for me. 6th seed. Imagine that. The most winningest franchise in the NBA. I'm begging them to get a 6th seed after watching how dominating Boston Celtics were. I just did not need Boston winning a championship this year. They did not need to win the 18th win ours. So, Giannis, do what you got to do. You're not ready to win a championship in the West yet. Giannis and Embiid, do what y'all need to do in the East to hold down that beast, because Boston is very scary. Again, I did have the opportunity to watch them last night. Tatum and Brown are some bad boys. I mean, they just ran into a juggernaut last night. I don't even know what Wizard team that was. They did not have Beal, did not have Kuzma, but these cats came out and played. And Porzingis, if Porzingis had a healthy career, that cat is a bad man. It's unfortunate he's been snake bitten. You remember Greg Oden? He's not as bad as Greg Oden as far as being cursed, but that guy, they called him a unicorn. And being here in DC, I've had the opportunity to watch him quite a bit. Last night, that guy played it. I mean, he hit 29 points. He hit a double-double. I think 16 or 17 rebounds. I mean, dude was on it. So it's just unfortunate he had a really rough career from health-wise. But they did have a good game last night. But I'm with you. About 6 games left in the season. It's definitely an exciting time, as those who are already in the pecking order, the top 3 have already pretty much solidified. I do like the play-in / playoff, because it definitely makes it a little more competitive for people below the 6th seed. I do believe, and that could be just me being a homer, hey, Lakers they have an opportunity to get the 6th seed. I really like that to be the reverse of fortunes for that season, and I definitely concur. Rob pulled the trigger, maybe been late because he didn't know what assets he could get and who was going to be willing to take on that Westbrook contract, only to know he's in the same city that he was the day prior. My challenge and my fear is that we drop all that, try to get Kyrie, and now we got a whole new season of trying to fix stuff. I like the team we have. I really believe we have an opportunity to do something with this versatility.
Yes. I did want to talk about NBA before we go into the Lamar Jackson. Let's talk about Dallas, how far they have fallen. And it's since the Kyrie trade. It's not because of Kyrie, but since the Kyrie trade. And I did want to know your opinion about Golden State. They're now in the 6th seed, reigning champs. Can they repeat? Will they repeat? What do you see out of those two franchises?
So my how I feel about Kyrie is it's pretty known. I don't want him on the Laker team, but I do not want him to take the heat on what's happening with the Mavericks. I don't know what happened there.
Yes.
1 minute, Luka Doncic is doing it up, and they bring him in here. So I don't want him to be in the fall guy for that. That is not on him. I hate to say it has to be accepted with Jason Kidd, but wow. Because a couple weeks ago, they're like number 3. They're like the 4th or 5th seed. They are now in the play-in spot 10, 11, and 12. So it's very unfortunate. I don't know what really happened, but it's I just hate to see that they're trying to paint that the Kyrie experiment has failed, which when I saw them play together, they looked like they worked very well together. He hasn't been in the media doing Kyrie-ish things. It looked like he has deferred to Luka as to being his team. But it's very interesting to see how they fell so quick.
Yeah. Well, they traded away their defensive personality, and that was Dorian Finney-Smith. And so it was a 1-for-1. Well, I think it was a 1-for-1, but kind of like what the Phoenix Suns did. You get KD, but you give up all your defense. Your defense is now in Brooklyn. So Dallas gave up Finney-Smith. He was the one person. He would be on their best player. And who was their little guard that they had last year? They refused to sign.
Brunson.
So Kyrie, yes, Brunson. So Kyrie had come in to try to fill in for Brunson, but Brunson, the difference between Kyrie and Brunson would be a facilitator. Kyrie's a scorer. Okay, he's not a facilitator. So losing Brunson, losing Finney-Smith, their personality has changed significantly. So they really don't. They have to outscore. I'm talking about Dallas has to outscore the opponent. And trust me, Kyrie doesn't play defense. Luka doesn't play defense. Only person that plays defense is JaVale McGee, and he's on the bench. He doesn't get any minutes. So it's a sad state of affairs with Dallas. It's Jason Kidd. It's whoever the GM down there. It's Mark Cuban. Just bad personnel moves. They're just not making the right moves. Now to the Dubs. What are you going to say about them Dubs, bro?
Hey, you know what I did about them Dubs last year? I put money on them Dubs. They won me $600. Look, I will not bet against the doggone champs because they're the champs. You remember that year in the 90s when Houston Rockets won the championship as a 6th seed? Look, all the Dubs need to do is get into the show. With someone like Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, I know Wiggins has some off the court issues. That's still Steve Kerr, still a championship caliber coach. They're still the defending champs. They're just saying, "Get me to the show." I still fear them. Their road trip woes this year. That's again. This is an off. Let's look at the season as a whole. Western Conference. I mean, people could actually get into the 6th seed underneath 500. So I just consider this whole season an anomaly. I believe this team, when they're in the playoffs, records go away. Records go away. And that's going back on Dallas. That's the scary thing. They were in the Western Conference Finals last year. And now they may not even make it to the playoffs. And so to watch Golden State almost hit their surge, they are that veteran team that the Lakers thought they were last year with the Westbrook. Oh, we could turn it on, turn it off. No, I do fear Golden State until they show me that they're not the juggernaut they once were. I fear them. I believe they can still make it to the Western Conference Finals.
I'm with you. Golly, Steve Kerr, their ownership, their manager, general managers. You talking about the players on the court, just smart. And they don't usually beat themselves. They do a few too many turnovers, but that 3 ball is something pretty. It is something else. It's a difference maker. They can be down by 10 and 4 possessions later be up by a couple. You hear what I'm saying? They are that good. They are pure. They are basketball savants. They just are smart that way. Here's what I will say about the Dubs, whether they're 6th seed, 5th seed, or they climb up any higher, is nobody who wants to see them in the playoffs. As a matter of fact, can you imagine being Denver, Sacramento, Memphis, and have to face the Lakers, the Dubs, or the Clippers, or somebody who has a little? It is a crazy kind of proposition. You know, you've been waiting all year to be 1, 2, 3, 4, have that home court, and then you got these mother suckers coming up in here. What? It ain't fair. It ain't right. Mom said there would be days like this, but God doggone. But it may be just like that. And that's why it's exciting. I'm not counting Memphis. I'm not counting New Orleans. They are good teams, but they don't scare me. Denver don't scare me. Sacramento don't scare me. But they have earned the right for the first and second seed in the West. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is this really what you want? Yeah. Is this really what you want? Okay. You worked all year for this. Let's see what you got. And we know what the playoffs mean. That's where you're making legends for yourself. Bruh, I had to toss that to you. It's back to you. I want to leave some more meat on the bone.
There's some meat. But after a story, do you remember the movie Friday when Mr. Pooh lost his chain? His dad came over and said, "Hey, that's my son's chain," and then he knocked him out. And then he came over and said, "You want some too, old man? You want some?" No. That's how I look at seeds 1, 2, and 3. Can you imagine? Like you said, you finally make it there. It's not like it's an old, washed-up Old State team. It's not an old, washed-up team that's for the Lakers that are somebody that's just they're hitting their strides. It's a whole new team. And so, yeah, you just want to tank, right? Nah. If I'm the Lakers, Golden State, I'm gonna sit right here. I'm gonna sit right here. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, come on. That's what I'm saying. Like you are Sacramento saying I gotta play Clay and them for best out of 7. Come on, man. Man. They don't want that.
Yeah.
They don't want that.
Yeah.
I still don't even know who Sacramento has on their team. That is what a matchup that would be. And you're right. I mean, and then I could actually see the petty king himself, Steph Curry, saying, "You know what? I want the 7th seed because I want to go against Memphis right now.
Ooh.
I'm not going to Memphis in the Western Conference Finals because I don't respect them to make it to the Western Conference Finals. I want them right now." What's your boy that Draymond Green and him Dylan Brooks, whatever his name? They hate each other. Yeah. Let's go right now. Who wants to wait for 3 o'clock at the Super Bowl? Let's go right now. I'll see you at lunch. I thought we said 3 o'clock at the school. Nah, right now. Right now. I can see that. I mean, so I'm already getting excited about the playoffs because you're right. Yeah. It's an inverted time where there's some legitimate beef. And I don't respect Denver. I got you. You made it for the regular season. You don't scare me. You do not scare me. Golden State.
Are we disrespecting the Suns? You and I haven't mentioned the Suns yet. Are we disrespecting the Suns?
We are disrespecting the Suns. We're disrespecting them until KD can say, "I'm ready to play." Because we know who Chris Paul is. We don't know CP3 can even make it through the Western Conference Finals. We are disrespecting them because there's not enough litmus tests right now to say, "Are y'all ready?" Yeah, I know who Booker is. We know who CP3 is. Which KD is coming? A KD on that squad? That's nasty. That's nasty. If KD on that squad, then if I am Golden State, I don't want to play them right now. Not yet.
So let it be said. Let it be said, taking it to the house is not going to disrespect the Suns because we believe in y'all are that powerful, that strong. We do need a little bit more of a sample size, yes, to be able to properly judge. But on paper, my goodness, you got Booker on one wing, you got KD on the other. CP3 don't have to do nothing but just facilitate. Oh, and don't forget, you got a big man with skills in the middle with Ayton. We will not disrespect you, Mr. Sun, or whoever you are, or the fans of the Suns. No. But you're going to have to, like every other team, You're going to have to lace them up, and you're going to have to show me. You're not my team, but you're just going to have to show me. Prove to me that y'all can play and put it together. CP, Chris Paul, show me you can stay healthy. Every year, something seems to happen, hamstring or something seems to happen. I love you as a ball player. You're a Hall of Famer. Stay healthy. And that's given for every other team. We're going to assume health is a factor. We will not disrespect you. I had a question to my panelists over here about this Lamar trade. So we're going to the NFL real quick before we close this out. What is going on in B More? What is going on? Do we have a divorce on the way? Because a lot is going on in the newspaper. A lot is going on in the public. This is no longer in-house. They're bringing everybody across the street and the family coming in. Moms are coming in, taking off earrings. They're taking off the heels. Moms are taking the wigs off. It looked like a brouhaha is about to happen. Holler at me. Talk to me. What's going on and be more.
It's embarrassing. You're right. The doors are wide open. People looking all up in the windows. Blinds all tattered up. Like you said, you got the brouhaha happening right there in the living room. It's just a hot mess. People are already selling tickets just to watch the mess. It's sad. Now, when I do look at the tweet, you can play on words. I requested a trade on March 2nd. I got caught up really quick. And I forgot it is March 27th. Oh, he requested a trade as of March. Oh, you know what? This is old news. How, then you have John Harbaugh coming out trying to smooth it out. I think it's all still bargaining. It's all trade bargaining. It's leverage. It's still silly.
Okay.
But I am team Baltimore Ravens. I am team Baltimore Ravens like I'm team Los Angeles Lakers. Kobe, you don't want to play? Bye. Shaq, sorry. I thought you should have won the Shaq versus Kobe debate. Bye. I am Laker fan that happens to benefit that one of the best players, Kobe Bryant, was on our team. Same thing. I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. I'm glad I had a Ray Lewis. Glad I had an Ed Reed. I'm glad I had, J.K. all this stuff. And then Lamar Jackson. But I'm not a Lamar Jackson fan. I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. And I think this is silly. Okay. It's sloppy. Want to go. But I still believe that I think it's bargaining tools. I really believe they're going to work this out. There's a game within the game. And I think what the Browns did last year with Deshaun Watson really just messed up the game. And now owners are trying to regulate what is the market. And I like them. I have no problem with Baltimore giving them the non-exclusive franchise. Hey, go test the market. You tell them what the market is, and we will pay you market value. The problem is the other team said, I don't want none. So now what are you going to do? You're going to pout? So that's the part.
Give me your crystal ball. Is he a Baltimore Raven when the season starts? Tell me.
Yes.
In your heart of hearts.
He's a Baltimore.
Okay.
He's a Baltimore Raven.
Okay. Yeah. I am a Lamar Jackson fan. I hate the posturing, and that's what it's going on. I believe what you're saying. You don't know who's leaking this stuff, who benefits from the leaks. I wish we heard less and they did more. Franchise tag, sign, trade, collusion, all this crap. I really don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it because it gives me a negative light on Lamar. I haven't even looked at the Baltimore Ravens. I look at a negative light of Lamar. And I know there's two parties involved, and usually there's somewhere in between it's right. Two people, two parties, two entities are involved in this. I still say, and I said this before, we shouldn't have got here. They should have signed him long time ago before we got here. So we are here. It's bad. It doesn't look good. And I want it to be fixed, squashed, because a lot of people look at our black quarterbacks as negative, bad for the league. You want all this money. You still got to show. Well, he has shown. He has been an MVP. He has talent. He's shown that he will pass from the pocket and be accurate. He will lead and win playoffs, but he hasn't won the big one. So they're comparing him to the Josh Allens, the Herberts, and your boy up in Cincinnati, Joe. So he's going to be compared to those. Yeah, he's going to be compared to those guys. Well, that's unfortunate, but it's a tough one. So I'm rooting for the best for Lamar. I want the most. I want him to get his money. I do, because I do know quarterbacks and playing football in general, it's just a tough life. It's a hard life. He just happen to be very gifted at what he does. So I wanted to be resolved, and he can make as much money as you want. But I wish we heard less and they did more. That's all.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I hope they do. I want him to get compared against Joe Burrow and Allen. Yeah. Because if you look at the other black quarterbacks that got their money last year, they didn't make it to the playoffs. So now you're telling me, if I do apples to apples, him versus other black quarterbacks, Kyler Murray gets hurt the 3 weeks before the end of the season, and they only won 4 games the whole year. Deshaun Watson missed half the season. He didn't lead them to the playoffs. So, that's apples to apples, black quarterbacks for black quarterback. If I want to put you in the quarterback bucket, every one of those quarterbacks, minus those 2, Aaron Rodgers made it to the playoffs. Josh Allen,
Brady,
Burrow, Brady. Yeah. So let's talk. You didn't even finish the last 2 seasons. So if I want him to get his credit, I want him to not looked at as the black quarterback. I want him to be looked at as a quarterback. Great. When we that, you still didn't show up. And you asking for more money than the other dudes who have gotten to the championship games and the Super Bowl. And they even had more promise. So I want him to get paid, but I also want him to look in the mirror and say, all right, what am I bringing to my team? I know I bring excitement. I'm putting butts in seats, but I haven't done anything in 2 seasons because I haven't been healthy enough to finish. Joe Burrow's finished the season. Josh Allen's finished the season, and they're taking care of the AFC East and your division now in the AFC North. So, but ultimately, like you said, it doesn't need to be this public. Handle your business. Baltimore's never in the news when it comes down to contract negotiation. This really just makes it look bad. And you're right. Just the optics as a black quarterback asking for more money doesn't help the case overall either.
Yeah. Ozzie Newsome is rolling over in his grave now. Well, brother, I had fun today. I had lots of laughs, and we were able to chop it up. And I hope you as a fan base had some fun and sat down with us. We still want to hear what you have to say, your opinion. The last thing that I want to share is just COVID. Let's still be COVID conscious. We're still getting through the flu season. We talked last week about getting your screenings, get your checkups, go see your doctors, guys. Women, go get your pre-screenings. So we love you. We want y'all healthy. We want to get through 2023 and still have our fun at these arenas or at your stadiums or at the ballparks. So we want everybody to do it, but do it safely and with good health. We love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. And that's taking it to the house. And I'm out.
As always, time definitely flies when you're having fun. I look forward to this time every week with my to have some fun. And I tell you all, we're entering that nice part of the year. We talked about basketball, but we're also talking about is getting springtime and being able to travel, spend time with family. Take these next couple of weeks and enjoy when you're on your spring breaks, what have you. Just enjoy the gift of life. And I tell you all what, we'll be back here next week, ready to do what we're going to do. Maybe have another update, whether it's Baltimore, watching my Lakers be +3 games over 500. What have you? We got something to talk about it. We'll be taking it to the house next week. Holla at us on our Facebook, any of our social media platforms. Love hearing from you. Love engaging with you. Take it to the house is out.